Should the Nets give Kyrie a max extension?
Let me start this by saying that Kyrie Irving is a max talent. He is a transcendent player. And I would argue that he's a top 3 most entertaining player. If I had to pay $100 for a basketball ticket, it's Stephen Curry, it's Ja Morant, it's Kyrie Irving. Those 3 guys are the most entertaining basketball players to me. But the reality of the situation, if we look at the last 3 years with the Brooklyn Nets, year 1, he played 20 games of 72. Year 2, he played 54 of 72. Last year, he played 29. And in each season, there were issues beyond just an injury. The first season, he didn't want to play on that team unless Kevin Durant was healthy, and obviously Kevin Durant sat out that season. No one could have predicted COVID and the effect that social justice movement and George Floyd's killing would have on Kyrie personally, and he elected not to go to the bubble. I applaud his decision on that. I think every guy had to make a personal choice about whether or not to go. Fact remains, he played in 20 games that season. The next season, he took an 11-day personal absence and missed 7 games. He only ended up playing in 54. And then, of course, this season, because the vaccine mandate, was unable to play for most of the year until that was lifted. So there's a reliability. There's an availability question, of course, but there's a reliability question around Kyrie Irving as it relates to at this point in his career. This is a guy also that previously had a number of injuries and hadn't played really a full season his entire career. If you are the Brooklyn Nets front office, if you are the Brooklyn Nets ownership, you have to plan years in advance. And giving Kyrie Irving a max extension, knowing what you've seen over the last 3 years, I don't think that's a great decision. The other thing I would say, given all the things that I just talked about, what does it say to Kyrie Irving if you are the Brooklyn Nets front office and you are the Brooklyn Nets ownership and you are willing to give him a max extension? What does that say about all the things that I just talked about? That it was okay, you get a pass for that. And then you would have to be insane to think that these sort of issues would not continue to pop up over the next 4 years. And again, he is an incredible basketball player, extremely talented, but I don't think he is reliable enough to give him a max extension at this point in his career.
Okay. So not based on talent, it's reliability and availability. Swagger, where are you on this?
Yep. We see it the same as far as reliability and availability that is called into question, but that's been called into question before they committed to Kyrie Irving, before he ever put a Brooklyn Nets uniform on. JJ is right. His points are very valid, but we've been dealing with this with Kyrie Irving for a long time before he got to Brooklyn. Here's the deal. I would say yes, because of the talent and what I've seen transpire in the NBA. The championship-hungry franchises, and I get it. If we, I'm going off speculation, or I'm going off the idea that the Brooklyn Nets, to even be in these talks, or to even be entertaining these talks based on what JJ just laid out, it lets you know that they are still invested in Kyrie Irving. Because all conventional wisdom of what JJ just said is a guy that you're trying to ask to walk away. You're trying to figure out a way to facilitate him being on another team. But I look at Brooklyn in particular, their particular situation. I'm not talking about the rest of the league, and I understand what the Supermax is and how you're projecting. But what Brooklyn has shown me already, the Nets have shown me already, they are willing to capitulate. They are willing to go against the things that they've said that they would do when it comes to Kyrie Irving in order to see him play basketball, to fill those seats in that stadium, and in that arena, and also hopefully have a chance at some type of leadership evolving to keep Kyrie there. I know this sounds absolutely crazy. It sounds crazy to me, but I think the reason why we go in these circles about Kyrie Irving is what JJ just pointed out. The talent is elite. The talent is something that we've only seen few have that's ever touched the basketball, which convolutes and make this all problematic when you're trying to make a decision about keeping Kyrie on as a max player. Conventionally, it says, everything in my fiber says, let him walk, let him go somewhere else and find it. But also I'm looking at a team that signed Ben Simmons after the saga with the 76ers, that let Kyrie come back after they said that they wouldn't. So to me, the Brooklyn Nets have already made this bed and put themselves in this position as an individual organization and franchise.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.